Welcome, everybody, to the What Would It Be Like If Things Were Easy call. My name is Adriana Popescu. I am a licensed clinical psychologist and access consciousness facilitator, a talk to the entities facilitator. I've been doing access for about 7 years now, and I love the changes it's created for myself, for my clients. I'm even using some of the tools at a drug and alcohol rehab center I work at. We're running bars on the ladies there. Sunny is actually on this call. She is the person who's gifting them the bars once a week. And we're also using some of the tools in groups. So it's very exciting to be bringing access to more and more people. And I'm excited that so many of you guys from all over the world are tuning in for this call. So I always like to start all of my classes with a question for you guys, which is, if you could have anything out of this class today, what would it be? Feel free to unmute yourself and tell us verbally, or you can type it in the chat box. If you could have anything out of our call today, what would it be?
More ease.
More ease, yes. Okay. What else?
For me,
Clarity.
more ease with money.
More ease with money. Okay, great. Yes. If you have specific areas you guys want to look at, let me know. So money, what else?
Mine would be creating money to become a CF with ease.
Okay, got it. So creating money to become a CF. CF means a certified facilitator of access consciousness. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, it's also what got me to this call is like more ease in general.
Just in general. Yes. Okay. Great.
With what creating and yeah.
And I will say, since I started using the tools of access consciousness, which is what I'm primarily going to work with on today's call, I have found that my life has become tremendously more easy and easeful. We have a mantra in access called, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory, which is not a Pollyanna kind of statement. What it really means is that when you are functioning from a space of ease, joy, and glory, whatever it is that shows up in your world, even if it's crappy, even if it's, somebody's sick, somebody's died, whatever it is, those things are still going to happen, but you'll be able to handle them with more ease and joy and glory. And that's really what we're looking for. Anything else in terms of, if you could have anything out of this call, what would it be?
Feel unstuck.
To feel unstuck. Okay, good. So I might come back to you, Izzy, and ask you more questions about what's got you stuck. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? You can also type in the chat box. It's over on the right-hand side. If you click the button on the bottom of your screen that says chat, it opens up a window on the side, and you can type stuff in there. Okay. So for those of you who are not familiar with access consciousness, let me just say a little blurb about it, just so you can get oriented to that. Access consciousness is a set of tools that are basically designed to empower people to know that they know. There are hands-on energy processes like the bars that I mentioned, and there's also verbal processing, which is what we're going to do today. Access has been around for about close to 30 years now. It was developed by an amazing man named Gary Douglas, and then about 18 years ago, Dr. Dane here joined in, and the two of them together with a whole bunch of other people have created and developed access consciousness. It's now in over 170 countries around the world. We have over 6,000 bars facilitators, over 500 certified facilitators of access around the world. Just pretty amazing how much it's grown. And I think the reason why it's grown and spread so much is because these tools are really pragmatic and they work. Okay, some of it might seem a little weird, some of it might seem unusual to you, and that's okay. The tools still work even if you think they're weird. So one of the tools that I'm going to be using a lot in this call is the clearing statement. Okay, so the clearing statement is basically a series of words. They're all acronyms. They all stand for something that's designed to bring up certain energies, specifically the energies that are creating the blockage or the problem or the issue, whatever's got you stuck. We want to bring those energies up with questions, and then the clearing statement is almost like a magic wand, if you will, that clears that energy, goes back to the point of the clearing statement is to go back to the point of creation where whatever is sticking you first came to be. So for instance, if you have some sort of point of view, which we're going to talk a lot about on this call, if you have a point of view that life is difficult, then the clearing statement, which is right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds, that clearing statement is going to go back to the point in time when you allowed that belief to take hold, or that point of view to take hold for you. It's the point of creation. And in order for you to adopt a point of view like that, you would have to destroy something else, like the awareness that life actually could be easy, in favor of a point of view like life has to be difficult. Okay? If you want more information on the clearing statement, there's a whole website devoted to it. Dr. Dane has a video where he talks about all the different acronyms in the clearing statement. So I'm going to refer you there. If Access is new for you, go to theclearingstatement.com. And from there, you can find out more about the clearing statement, because I don't want to take up too much time with explaining all the details here. It can get quite lengthy. And I think most of you on this call have had some experience with Access. Okay? Great. So, so point of view. Okay, let me talk a little bit about this. So in Access, we have a saying, your point of view creates your reality. Not that your reality creates your point of view, okay? So if I have, to come back to the example I used before, if I have a point of view that life is a struggle, that life has to be difficult, okay? Then that is going to become the lens through which I see the world. Then everything I experience in my reality is going to be perceived through the lens of life is difficult. So guess what that reality is going to create? That's going to make my life really difficult. And for me personally, I think that that was very true. Maybe if I give you some of my background, it'll illustrate this. So I am the child of immigrants who came from Romania, who actually escaped from Romania after planning and plotting and living under communist rule for, I think, 16 years or so. They finally found a way to get out. They came to Canada first, not the United States, because they couldn't get into the United States. They got to Canada first with basically no money in their pocket. My dad couldn't even speak English. And they struggled and worked hard and basically were able to be very successful, eventually got to the United States where I was born. And they were able to provide me with a very comfortable life. But because they had the point of view from early on that life is difficult and you have to work hard to have success, they did give me the message that you can have success, but they also said you have to work really hard for it. And so I grew up with that belief. So guess what? I had to work really hard for the successes that I had. In fact, to the point that I worked myself so hard that I basically fried my body. I became really, in my early 20s, I became really sick with chronic fatigue syndrome, which ended up being related to Lyme disease. And it took almost 20 years for me to fight my way out of it, okay? My healing process took many years. There were a lot of interventions. There were a lot of things that worked. There were a lot of things that didn't work. And it was really Access Consciousness that finally put the final pieces of the puzzle together for me and let me create my life in a way that I could be pain-free and illness-free. So, and I had a big awareness. It was right around the time that I turned 40 where I realized that I had spent my entire life pushing boulders uphill. And I didn't want to do that anymore. And I was asking for something different. And that's when access showed up in my life. And ever since then, life just keeps getting better and better and easier. But I really had to challenge myself with that point of view of you have to work hard for your success. And even more recently, as I've been growing my business and wanting to reach more people and become global and all of that, I found myself even recently working so hard that I was going for days, weeks at a time without a day off, and realized, wow, there's still remnants of this point of view in my world that I wasn't even aware of. So how many of you are functioning from a point of view that in order to have success in life, you have to work hard?
Yeah.
Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay. So what other kinds of points of view might you guys have picked up from your families, from your friends, from your culture? What other points of view about life being difficult or a struggle or hard have you adopted?
I think for me, it's always success is for other people. Those other people.
Yes. Okay. And who are those other people that are not you?
The rich people.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting point of view.
I know.
So everything that is, everywhere you've aligned and agreed with that kind of point of view or resisted and reacted to it, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, the reason I say align and agree with or resist and react to is because they're two sides of the same polarity, okay? So if, for instance, I buy into the point of view that, yes, only rich people can have success, then I've aligned and agreed with it, and I have created a charge. I believe there's an energetic charge around that because I've now decided it's true. I could easily do the opposite and resist and react to it and say something like, well, that's bullshit. I'm not going to believe that to be true. But if it has that charge on it, where it has that resistance energy, like, no way, no how, then I'm also sticking myself. Okay, you can stick yourself with a point of view with either the positive polarity or the negative polarity, either aligning and agreeing with it or resisting and reacting to it. Okay, does that make sense? So we want to clear both sides of that, which is why I asked Clarissa if she'd be willing to destroy and uncreate anywhere she either took it on or fought against it. Either way, she's going to be stuck with it if she's doing one of those polarities. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So
Yes.
So we want to be sure to do that. All right. So Clarissa, coming back to you, is there more to it with this idea that only rich people get to have that kind of success? Does that also mean that rich people are the only ones who get to have the money?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did this come from?
My dad was always very well, looking up to is maybe not the right word, but yeah, that's what comes up. Looking up to other people who did have more money. He was very like, oh, those people, and
right. So he had a lot of judgment of them, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Sure.
And on the one hand, he might have put them up on a pedestal because made them greater than him, right? And at the same time, he judged them as, ooh, those people, they're jerks or whatever, right? So he's doing both sides of that polarity, right? He's aligning and agreeing with wealthy people are superior, and he's resisting and reacting to it in the form of wealthy people are jerks or whatever it was, right?
Yes.
So everywhere you have mimicked, or any of you guys have mimicked your family's points of view about wealth and wealthy people, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. So here's the problem with judgment, okay? Judgment always creates separation, okay? When you judge the wealthy people, whether you judge them as being superior to you or inferior to you or whatever it is, that judgment creates a wall or a barrier between you and those people. Now, the problem with a wall is that it doesn't know what it's supposed to keep out. So if you're putting walls up all around you with your judgments, guess what can't come in? Nothing.
Anything.
Yeah, nothing can come in, including money. Okay, so when I do money classes, I have a class called 5 Keys to Having Ease with Money. When I teach that class, one of the things we have to really hammer away at are all the judgments that people have about money, about wealth, about themselves with regard to having money and wealth, about rich people. We have to spend a long time potting all those judgments, because those judgments are creating the walls and barriers that will not allow the money flow to come in. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So we always want to be in the question of, what are my judgments about such and such? Okay, so Clarissa, for you, one exercise you might want to go through is to actually write out things like, what do I love about rich people? What do I hate about rich people? What do I love about having money? What do I love about having no money? What do I hate about having money? What do I hate about having no money? Like all these variations on that theme, because the more you can clear those judgments and all those charges, the more you're opening the door for the possibility of money coming to you. You become more willing to receive when you are free of judgment. When you're in judgment, you can't receive. Okay? So everything that's starting to bring up or let down for you guys, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay. So what's happening for you guys right now? Does anyone have a question for me?
I was just thinking about when you were talking, like I still do a thing with my work where it's like if I'm not working for money, then it's not a worthy spending of my time.
Right, right.
Like
So,
if I'm not filling every hour with a client or something like that.
so you have some sort of point of view about productivity, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? What is that point of view?
It's something about like I have to be productive all the time. And I mean, generally, like I have to work hard all the time, but also I'm not being productive if what I'm doing this very minute is not going to yield money, cash immediately. Like if I'm going to do some writing, that's not a productive use of my time. That's like wasting time.
Right. Okay. So 2 points of view there. Let's take them separately. So everywhere any of you decided, judged, or concluded that every moment had to be filled with something productive, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And everywhere you decided, judged, or concluded that if you're not making money off of it, it's a waste of time, destroy and uncreate all of that.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, Denise, here's where I think it's important to look at acknowledging what you're creating. Because sometimes what you're creating doesn't have an immediate payoff. You don't just want to be, the idea that it has to pay off for you right now is really only creating in the present. You want to be creating for the future, right?
Right.
So what if what you're doing now might actually be creating for the future, and the future is where the thing will monetize, right? In the writing of a book, for example, you're not going to get cash on it for the chapter you wrote today.
Right.
The chapter you write today is part of a bigger process that at some point, if you complete it and go through all the, process of getting it published and sold and all that, then it will sell for you in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So everywhere you've been creating only for the present and not for the future, or not acknowledging that what you're creating today is for the future and could monetize in the future, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so
I had.
go ahead, Izzy.
I have kind of a similar thing, actually. It's like, I've never had so much free time, you could say, right now. At the same time, I'm doing a lot of stuff where there is like no income to it, and I am doing stuff where it's making me money, just not close to what I usually am making, So it's like, I got all kinds of judgment on that. And I'm not, I don't know, it's weird. Stuff's falling in my way, but it's different. It's a really, it's a different feeling for me, and it's no rhyme or reason to it.
Well, have you acknowledged how much ease you've already created? I mean, if things are falling in your lap that are making you money, is that a whole lot easier than it used to be?
It is, but I'd want more.
Okay. So here's the thing with, and we talk about this a lot in Access. You have to acknowledge what you're already creating and keep asking for more, okay. Right? So, Izzy, you want to say, okay, this is great. I've already created so much more ease in getting business. I used to have to hustle for it. I used to have to put a lot of energy and effort into it. And now the business is showing up way easier. That's awesome. And how does it get even better than that?
Thanks for that.
What would it take for even more ease to show up and even more business to show up? Okay, so those are another couple of tools of Access that I want you guys who are newer to Access to really make note of is the two questions of how does it get any better than this and what else is possible. Okay, you want to ask these questions when things are crappy, like, oh my God,
all week.
my life is so hard. Oh my God, I'm working my ass off. What else is possible here? How does it get any better than this? Right?
Yeah, but I wasn't acknowledging how easy it got. So thank you.
Right. Well, and when you don't acknowledge what you're already creating, it stops the energy flow. Right? Or you may even destroy and uncreate what you've already created so you can start all over again. So anywhere you guys are doing that, will you please destroy and uncreate that?
Yes, definitely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So back to the how does it get any better than this and what else is possible? You want to ask those questions when things are crappy, and you also want to ask it when things are good. So for Izzy, because he's already having some success, great. That's great that things are getting easier. And how does it get even better than that? How does it get even easier than that? And what else is possible? What else is possible to have even more ease with my business? What else is possible for even more business to show up? What would I have to be or do to get more business?
Yes.
And it might be different now than what it used to be. If you used to have to work hard for it and hustle and pound the pavement, now it might be that something different is required to generate new business. So you have to ask questions like, what's required? What does my business require of me? Or what do I need to be or do different that would allow more business to show up? Okay?
Yeah.
So the thing with these questions is a question is always about gaining more awareness. It's never about coming to an answer. Okay? So you got to be sure that because when you come to an answer, it stops the energy flow. When you ask a question, it's like opening up. Think about like if you were stuck in, a room with four walls and your whole reality is that, it's based on all your points of view and all you know are these four walls. When you're asking a question like what else is possible, you're opening a window or a door so that new energy can come in and a different possibility can show up. But it's never about coming to a conclusion, right? So Izzy could, for example, ask, what else do I need to be or do to have more clients show up? He might get an awareness like, I could put an ad in the paper, right? Or put an ad on Craigslist or something. And that's great. And he can do that. And it likely will bring him more business, but you don't want to just stop there and conclude that, right? And not ask any more questions.
Yeah.
Because today you might get some business from Craigslist, but tomorrow something else might be required. So you have to always be asking those questions. Okay, well, now what does my business require? And you might get a different awareness. You might get, I need to hire somebody to do marketing for me, right?
Yeah.
So you want to stay in the question and never come to a conclusion, because if you stop at that conclusion, then that's all there is. Then the only way you're going to get business is from the Craigslist. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to keep asking those questions and keep following your awareness. And sometimes you don't always get an awareness when you ask a question. Sometimes you have to keep asking and asking until it shows up. And then it might show up at the weirdest times, like you're walking down. This is another one to tie it back to what Denise was talking about. You might get the awareness. You could ask a question like, what does my business require of me today? And you get an awareness like, go to the beach, which would really go against a point of view. If you have that point of view that every moment needs to be productive and making me money, going to the beach might seem like a waste of time or, a waste of money. But if you're actually following the energy and there's a lightness to the idea of going to the beach, you want to follow that lightness, because we don't know exactly what's going to happen when you're at the beach. But what if that creates more for you in your business? Like, you might be sitting there at the beach and get a great idea for a new business or product. Or maybe you'll be sitting at the beach and someone will walk by that you haven't seen in 10 years, and you talk to them and some new connection happens and they know somebody who's interested in your business, and you know what I mean? Like, it's not linear. Creation is not a linear thing. In this reality, we talk about business plans and how A leads to B leads to C, which is one way of creating. But in Access, we talk more about non-linearity. Like, what if you follow the energy and it leapfrogs you to one place, which leapfrogs you to another and then to another? What if it's not a straight line?
Yeah.
Are you guys following me?
Well, that's what happened to me actually today. My buddy, he helped me out with some legal stuff with the Oddfellows. And I go, well, you know what? I want to finish something. Can you please get your butt over to help me? I built you that thing for your boat. And I was building it for him because I go, I just want to get this done today. And then he goes, you know what? Catherine's talking about you. She wants you to put an addition on her house. I go, oh, interesting. So I guess I'm going to go look at that now.
Right. See?
Yeah.
A whole new possibility showed up because you followed the energy.
Yeah. I had to get that thing built. I go, I need you over to help me put it together. And he goes, oh, no problem. He goes, and then he started around with Catherine. I go, oh, cool.
Right. So how many possibilities have you guys cut off because you've been so fixated with your points of view? Like, how many times has the universe whispered to you or tried to gift you a different possibility, but you couldn't hear it or see it because you were in the tunnel vision of your points of view? Like, I have to work hard all the time. Every moment must be productive. If you're so focused on that, there's no room for anything else. Okay? So everywhere you guys have cut off all the possibilities for having greater ease that the universe would like to give you, will you please destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah. It's kind of funny you should say it that way. I did something not be totally aware yesterday. My wife was trying to get me to talk to say yes to adopting a cat, which they're afraid of animals. But anyway, I just asked the question, I want to do it. Will this be a good thing time? And no. And I go, and she goes, well, just come along. And I go, will this be good for you to go along? No, but I did ask a little further along. It turned out she got in a car accident going there.
Yeah.
So he just sideswiped. And because it was just so heavy to even go. I said no. And I should have asked a little more questions. I didn't.
Right. Right. Well, that's thanks for pointing out another really great tool that you can use in Access, which is now the time. See, if you and your wife had asked a question around, is now the time to go adopt a cat, and you got a no, and you followed that no. So a no is so in Access, we talk about whatever's true for you is going to feel light and expansive. Whatever's not true for you is going to feel heavy and contracted. Okay. So if he asks the question, is now the time to go get a cat, and he gets a no, it's heavy, then if you follow that energy, that you might have avoided that accident. Because it wasn't.
Well, I didn't go. I didn't go. I should have asked, "What about her?"
Right,
you know,
yeah.
that was a mistake. You know.
Yeah, because sometimes the no isn't about the cat. The no is about don't get on the road at this hour because you're going to get into an accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Hmm.
So Denise, let me check back in with you because you started us off on this point of view around like hard work and productivity. Did anything else come up for you around that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's loosening up. Like the hold, whatever it was, is not as strong. And I mean, it feels more expansive. It feels like there's more space, and it feels like, okay, maybe I could begin by like dipping my toe in the water of that would be okay to do something that I would actually find fun. Like writing for me is very fun, but to spend the time to like schedule it into my day, that resistance comes up of, oh, okay, well, that's going to be useless. But that doesn't really feel as true when I say it out loud this time.
Okay, good. So something's starting to shift.
Mm-hmm.
So this, you bring up another really, I think, important thing to talk about, which is fun. Okay, money is drawn to the energy of fun. Okay, there's like an axis. You'll sometimes hear people talking about, if you're having a party, okay, and you've invited money to come, and your party is really like sad and boring and depressing. Do you really think money is going to want to come to your party? Probably not. So money is drawn to the energy of fun. So have you ever acknowledged, Denise, that you having fun actually would attract more money to you?
Yeah, and I've been trying to live that a little bit more.
Yeah, right.
Which is cool.
Great.
But it's a little bit challenging still.
So what specifically is challenging about that?
I feel like there's this indoctrination, maybe from my family's blue collar, maybe from that, but also maybe from like training and career. Like you're not supposed to have too much fun. It's like serious work.
Ah, okay, right. So all the points of view you all have that work has to be serious and can't be fun, will you please destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So I share that with you. I have had to really work on that one because I was always under the impression that therapy in particular had to be very serious. So one day I asked, what would it take to have more fun in my sessions with folks? What would it take for the sessions to be way easier and more fun? And sure enough, the next day, every single therapy session I had with somebody, there was laughing, there was joking. I mean, it was a completely, lighter and more expansive experience. So what areas have you guys not even asked for fun and ease to show up? Everything that all that is, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyond. So you can start asking questions, these open-ended questions, right? What would it take to have more fun at work? What would it take for my job to be easier? What would it take for money to be easier and more fun for me? What would it take for relationships to be easier and more fun for me? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now, the thing about using the clearing statement, so I just did a real general clearing, like everything that doesn't allow you, which will probably peel away some layers of stuff, okay? But oftentimes with these points of view that we have that are limiting us, they're very solidified. It's like you came to believe that this thing was true at a very young age or maybe even in some other lifetime, and you've been dragging it around with you, looking at the world through this lens, and every time, so this is what we tend to do, we distort how we see things. So if you have the point of view that life is a struggle, then you see everything through that lens. So every time something difficult occurs, you'll attract difficult things and difficult experiences. And then every time that you have a difficult experience, you'll be like, see, life really is a struggle. And you'll solidify that point of view even more into place. You'll cement it into place every time you look to prove that it's true. And with every experience you have, that proves it to be true. And so you see how you can end up in this never-ending loop of believing things are going to be difficult, attracting the difficulty to you, and then going, see, everything is difficult, and proving it true. So everywhere you guys are stuck on that never-ending loop of your limiting points of view, will you destroy and uncreate all those?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds, which is why you may need to use the clearing statement a number of times before something deeply held changes. This is why Gary or Dane, you know, the creators of Access, will say something like, put that clearing on a loop and play it nonstop for the next, 10 days or something. Meaning, you could record it and then put it, on your iTunes or whatever, or there's apps you can use, and then just let it repeat over and over again. You can even put it on very low in the background. I listen to clearing loops at night when I'm sleeping, and I just let the layers and layers of junk keep getting cleared. Okay. Sometimes when you do the clearing statement, the stuff will clear in one clearing. You don't know. But with these deeper held beliefs that have been around for so long, things you got from your family, things you got from your culture, things you got from religion, where there's a lot of judgment involved, those ones can often be harder to clear. And I'm reminded, as we think about culture and religion with this topic, how many of you guys, grew up in some sort of cultural or religious background that has points of view like, you have to work hard and then someday you'll be rewarded by going to heaven. Your reward will come after death. And life is going to be, or the Buddhist point of view that life is suffering. That's one of the Four Noble Truths or something. So everything, all that is, all the ways you've been implanted or explanted, meaning you've been programmed to believe these types of things around life being difficult or a struggle. Will you please destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So is there more there for you guys around culture or around religion and difficulty?
Probably, the biggest thing, I never looked at the clearing loops. Now it seems so light that I need to do it, run it all night. So I will do that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Great.
Didn't see it before.
Awesome. How does it get any better than that? What else? What else is creating difficulty for you guys? Where else in your life do you not have ease? Feel free to unmute yourself and talk, or you can type in the chat box.
Is this FaceTime?
Yes. I'd have to say my relationship still.
Okay.
It seems like it goes smooth, and then it slides back, and don't know.
Okay.
A lot of ways, I'm demanding a lot of more change, though. It could be it too. So who knows? It's weird.
Right. So first off, so I know Izzy outside of this call. So Izzy, have you already created a lot more ease in your relationship with your wife?
I'd have to say definitely yes.
Okay. So what did you have to change in order to have more ease in your relationship up until now?
For one thing, I just started telling her how I want things and not, biting my tongue or just going along or letting resentment sit there. It doesn't work.
So you started speaking up for what you'd like, right?
Yeah.
You became more assertive.
Yes.
Okay. So in order to have, light or heavy, I'm going to ask you to use your light or heavy tool. In order to have more ease now and in the future with your relationship, do you need to assert yourself even more?
Yeah, I guess I did. I thought I was doing pretty good, but yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Great. So everything that would not allow you to do that, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Hmm.
So are there things that maybe you haven't been willing to ask for? You haven't spoken up about? And you don't have to tell us what they are,
Yes.
but just are there things?
I didn't think so, but yes, there is. Now you asked her, it's very light. So yes.
Okay,
I need to
cool.
ask her more.
So then he gets a light. That means there's more there that he wasn't aware of before. Okay, so this is where you
I
want
was
to
settling
watch out.
for
Sorry?
Yeah. I was settling for enough.
Yes.
You know, I got something. I go, yeah, that should be enough. I shouldn't push it. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you came to a conclusion that I shouldn't push it. I should stop here and not ask for any more. So what did that do to the flow of the energy?
Yeah, it stopped. You're right.
Right. So now by asking the question, you can open up the energy flows again. So what else is required? Well, I need to speak up about some other things. Great. So now you can do that. Do you notice any resistance to doing that now?
No, it's funny. It's not just in asking; it's in doing. It's in experiences and all that stuff. It's like this is good enough. Let it go. You know. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's odd. It's a lot deeper than you think.
Yeah.
A lot deeper.
So everywhere you guys have settled for just enough, okay, and that's getting in the way of having more ease in your world, will you please destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, talk, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What if much more was actually available than you've been willing to receive? So I want to veer off into this topic for a moment. How much of your difficulty with life, with money, with relationships, for all of you, how much of that difficulty is related to an unwillingness to receive?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. Remember when I talked about walls and barriers? When you have judgments, when you have points of view that create walls and barriers, what it does is that it interferes with your receiving. Okay? It makes it so that you cannot have ease in your world. Okay? So, all the resistance you guys have to receiving ease, will you please destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay? So the more you are able to receive, the more you are able to push down walls and barriers, the more can come to you. The more money can come to you. The more people can show up for you, for your business. The more people can show up in your life. The more ease you can have with things. Okay? So what would cause you all to not be willing to receive ease? Does anything come up when I ask that?
It's actually just not actually expanding out when you're actually looking at stuff to see what you're doing.
What do you mean?
I mean, if I expand out, I can actually see my barriers. And a lot of times I just don't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
So Izzy's talking about another tool we use a lot in Access, which is the tool of expanding out. Okay. This is when you expand your energy field out in all directions, and I'll walk you guys through it because I really like this tool. What can happen sometimes is when you do expand out and you notice that your energy can't seem to go out any further, like it stops here, that may be a sign that you have a wall or a barrier up there. And what you might want to do with that is ask some questions like, what is this? What is this wall? What is this barrier? What is it? What can I do with it? Can I change it? How do I change it? Okay, ask some of those open-ended questions and talk and pod whatever it is that may come up. Okay, so yeah, let's do an expand out exercise because I really like this. What I find that it does for folks is It takes away the intensity of when you're charged up about something. It helps you get more calm and relaxed, because what it really helps you to do is connect with your infinite being. Like you as a being, as a soul, a spirit, whatever you want to call it, you are an infinite being. Okay. But what happens is when we take on a body and we take on a personality and a mind, you know, what the Buddhists would call ego mind, we tend to over-identify ourselves with our thoughts and our mind and our feelings, and we often will cut off from our infinite being. When you are functioning as an infinite being, when you're truly being yourself, it is the space of ease, joy, and glory. It is also the space of joy, bliss, and ecstasy. That's really fundamentally who you be, okay? So if you guys think about a time, think about times in your life, for example, when things were really easy. What was happening, or what were you being that allowed that ease to occur? For most people, well, and do you guys have anything on that? Does anything come up? What made it easy for you when it was easy?
It's just the energy, really.
Well, what was the energy?
Really light and flowing constantly.
Yeah. So for me, if I think about times in my life when things were really easy, there was a flow, there was a lightness. There wasn't a lot of thought in it. You know, I think about like when I'm snowboarding, you know, I'm not thinking, I'm just being. Like I'm connected to my snowboard. I'm moving in this rhythmic kind of way. I'm connecting to the earth around me. That's really easy for me, okay? When I'm facilitating and I'm being me, it's really easy. When I'm laughing, okay? So when you are coming from that space of infinite being, it's much easier. So I'm going to invite you guys right now, go ahead and close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Please don't close your eyes if you're operating a car or heavy machinery. Go ahead and close your eyes and allow your energy field to expand out in all directions until you're as big as the room that you're in. And then keep expanding out in all directions until you're as big as the building you're in. And then keep going out, including down into the earth, up into the sky, until you're as big as the entire city you're in. And then the entire state or province. And keep expanding out in all directions, including up into the sky and down into the earth until you're as big as your entire country. And now as big as the whole planet. And from there, keep expanding out in all directions, past the sun, past all the other planets, out into our galaxy, out past the hundreds and thousands of other galaxies, until you're all the way out into the infinite reaches of the universe, ever expanding. From this space, notice how things seem to you. Stay expanded out and look at some of the things that are causing you difficulty. And notice from this expanded space of awareness, does it still seem so difficult?
No.
Or does a sense of ease start to actually show up? See if you can actually imagine whatever your difficulties are just dissipating and releasing.
I just noticed something else even cooler there. I realize I don't have all the points of view of other people in those things that give me difficulty when I'm expanded out like that.
Right.
Just see that clearly.
Well, you don't align and agree with other people's points of view or resist and react to them because you're connected with you. You're not in other people's universes. When you're in other people's universes, that's when you're unconsciously mimicking their points of view. That's like when you're a little kid and you just adopt, you're like a little sponge and you just take on everything that your parents think and feel, right? This allows you to reconnect with you, the infinite being. So I took you through that exercise very slowly and kind of meditatively, but you can also do it really fast. Like you could just go, boom, expand out and be infinite. I would highly recommend that you guys play with that tool and practice it. Because you notice, even on our call right now, can you notice that the space has shifted? Like the energy is different. There's more lightness even with this group of people we have on this call right now. Okay. Did anyone else notice anything shift for them when we did the expand out?
Oh. It was like, dummy, too. She remember to do this all the time.
Well, that's the thing. If you practice this expanding out, and I'm a big fan of like putting reminders on your phone, putting up Post-its, like reminding yourself to use these tools as often as possible. Because what ends up happening is with the access tools, the more you use them, the more you actually become them. You just start to function from that big space. You start to be the question. You start to be the ease, joy, and glory. Sometimes you don't even have to ask the light or heavy. You just know. I mean, all of the thing about like light and heavy and a lot of the access tools, to me, I think of them as training wheels. They're training wheels on a bike that help you get in touch with your awareness, with your deep knowing, right? You as the infinite being function from perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving. And eventually what happens is you do that all the time. You become that. You function from that. You no longer always need to go through the mental process of asking the question, checking to see if it's light or heavy. In the beginning, the mechanics of going through that is really important to do. But eventually, just like with driving a car, in the beginning, you have to think about, okay, now I have to put the shifter in gear. I have to put my foot on the pedal. You have to think about it all. But eventually, right, it becomes automatic. The problem for most of us is the things we've made automatic and put on autopilot are often the things that are sticking us. Like when we're functioning from points of view that life has to be hard, I have to work my ass off, everything is difficult, things come easily to everyone else, like those rich people, but not to me. Like all that stuff that you unconsciously bought into at some point, those are the beliefs that are on autopilot for you now. And unless you actually choose to do something different to change it, you'll keep functioning from those limiting points of view. So what I like about Access is it can help you shine a light on where you're sticking yourself, where you're stuck with these limiting points of view, and then give you tools to be able to change that. That making sense for folks?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So we have about 5 minutes or so left. Is there anyone else that would like some facilitation, some specific facilitation around what might not be easy for you, where you're struggling, where life is not ease, joy, and glory? Anything else that might be up for you guys? You can type it in the chat box or unmute yourself.
I haven't been able to create more fun for myself.
Okay. Well, what are your definitions of fun? Maybe you want to start there.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean, I got my new truck. I love it. And it's been fun playing with it, but no, you know what? I should just go out and use the damn thing. But it's funny, the definition of fun, right, how restricted it's gotten to me lately.
Right. So everything that is, everywhere you guys have defined what fun is, and anywhere you've defined what ease or easy is, will you just create that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys, yeah. So I work with a lot of addicts, right? People who are addicted to drugs and alcohol. And for them, most of them have the definition that what's fun is getting high. What's fun is getting drunk, right? They don't know. It's a big thing for people in recovery is learning how to have fun without drugs. Okay. So when you have definitions of something, it's like having that limited point of view. If the only way I can have fun is by, you know, buying a new truck, well, then what happens when you buy the new truck? What happens to the fun? Now you bought it already. Does the fun stop?
Well, it was different than that. You know, it's not that. I had to like try to justify getting a new truck. I love this sucker. It's awesome. It took the fun out of it, you know, to justify it.
Yes, when you're justifying is just another way to say judging. When you're justifying, you're trying to look to prove what's right or wrong about it. So everywhere you guys are locked into proving what you're doing is right or wrong, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, podcast, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. Okay. And when you're yawning, that's good. That means energy is moving and shifting. Yeah.
There's a lot.
So for you, Izzy, you might want to ask questions like, well, what else would be fun for me? Okay. What else could I add to my life what else could I add to my life that would be fun? So you don't make the truck your only source of fun. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's one more thing that you guys can look at is what have you guys all made the source? Okay. I love this concept. Like, what have you made the source of fun? Right? For my addicts, it's drugs and alcohol. But like, what else could be possible there? What have you made the source of ease or difficulty? Okay. Sometimes people do all kinds of crazy things, like for creation, they'll make suffering a source of creation. Like, it has to get really, really bad for me. I have to hit rock bottom before I'll actually change something. Okay. Or need, like you won't create the money for something until you get to the place where you need it. You really need it. So whatever you guys have made the source of ease, whatever you've defined the source of creation as, including the source of creation for money, will you please destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And everywhere you guys are functioning from the lack or scarcity mentality of there's not enough time, not enough energy, not enough money, I'm not enough, will you please destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Oh, and also you missed that opportunity. I hate that one. Missing an opportunity.
So are you judging?
Well, it's like yeah. This stuff I've, you know, if I had done that, you know, it would have made $1 million. You know.
Yeah. So all your shoulda, coulda, woulda judgments, all your blame, shame, regret, and guilt, will you destroy and uncreate them all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay. Any other thoughts or anything up for you guys?
Ooh.
So what would it take for you guys to create ease around money and being able to go to more access classes? Somebody said they wanted to become a facilitator of access. What would it take to create more ease with all of that? Or what's not allowing it?
It's just so light. I gotta figure that one out. I can do it.
Well, you don't want to figure it out because that would be trying to find an answer.
Okay.
You want to ask the question. What's standing in the way of me having the money or the time or whatever it is that's required to go to more access classes? Okay. And everything that does not allow you all to perceive, know, be, and receive what that is, what's standing in your way, will you please destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So it's probably going to be different for different folks, but I'll give you some hints. You may want to look at, what have I decided is so hard about creating money? Some of those questions, what do I love about money? What do I hate about money? You know, clearing those judgments. I would be looking at, what points of view did I take on from my family or my culture or my peers or whoever, you know, the people who would influence you. What are the points of view around money that I took on from them, and POC and POD, all of that. There's a few access books that I think are really helpful on money. There's the How to Become Money workbook. There's Money's Not the Problem, You Are. There's a book called Right Riches for You. There's a lot of really good books and classes and stuff, and a lot of free stuff out there. The one thing about Access that's really cool is that, yeah, there's, you know, classes you can pay for, but there's also people doing, you know, free Zooms like this. If you go on YouTube and Google Access and money, I bet you'll come up with a lot of things. There's people who do podcasts, and it says on the Access website who's doing podcasts, who does radio shows, and there's always topics around money. There's a whole subset of Access called Right Riches for You. There's Joy of Business. There's so many different possibilities for getting more tools with this. I teach a class called 5 Keys to Having Ease with Money, and I'm getting ready to pretty soon I'll come up with some dates to come up with a new series of classes with that. So lots of possibilities, but I think primarily what I would say is look for the judgments, for the limiting points of view that you have that are not allowing you to receive the money that you are asking for. And then of course you want to be asking, you know, what would it take for more money to show up? What would it take for the money for this class to show up? What would it take for me to become a certified facilitator with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that all, destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine shorts and beyonds. Okay? So what ease have you guys been refusing with the points of view you are choosing? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. What ease is available that you haven't yet chosen? And everything that's not allowing you to choose it and ask for it, please destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, I think that might be it for us today. Hopefully you guys got an overview. For those of you who are newer to Access, hopefully you got a good overview of what some of the tools are. I put a number of the tools into this call. I'd highly recommend you guys play with them, experiment with them. If you're interested in taking a deeper dive on the topic of ease, I'm going to be doing a class in 2 weeks in another online Zoom called Saying No with Ease. Because I find that a lot of people have a hard time with saying no. That's something that comes really easily for me. So I'm happy to share what I know about that. That'll be happening in 2 weeks on August 9th. I told you guys I'm going to put up another 5 Keys to Having Ease with Money call soon. And more, you know, more to be continued. So I'm really grateful to you all for joining me today. I will send out, as soon as Zoom has the class processed, I will send out the recording for this. If you guys want more personal facilitation, feel free to shoot me an email. I do sessions with people over the phone, in person, over Skype. So lots of possibilities are available. Thank you. And oh, one more final tool I'll give you. If you use the mantra of Access, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, at least 10 times in the morning, 10 times in the evening, and anytime things just don't seem like they're being ease, joy, and glory, it will start to change your life. So all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Thank you all for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you so much.